Hello everyone, hope you're all doing as well as possible. This video contains mentions of child abuse. This is an ongoing investigation. Not all legal outcomes are known or final, and all suspects are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. All right, so Joseph Duggar's latest pretrial court date was on May 18th. It was literally a 2-minute Zoom call, but there is a lot going on behind the scenes with the motions that have been filed. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Katie, a fundamentalist escapee. I was in a group that worshipped the Duggars.
I didn't get that. Good.
Shut up, Siri. I got out in 2014, and now I use my channel to try to help take these groups down. If you're wanting to follow the whole case, I recommend watching my Duggar Downfall series from the beginning. I will link it down below. I'm really glad I took my little hiatus because watching this unfold as a Fundy survivor is exhausting. Joseph Duggar's last pretrial hearing for Florida is July 14th, and that's when things are really going to start blowing up publicly. But as I've said before, it's an iceberg, and non-fundies can't always see below the tip. Take it from people who have crashed into it. This thing is freaking huge. All right, so I do need to clarify, it was the Florida judge, Judge Brantley Clark, who released Joseph from the Bay County Jail on the $600,000 bond. In my previous video, Jail versus Prison, I expressed frustration with the decision to put bail on the table, but I have since slightly relaxed my opinion about Judge Clark on that. It turns out he is very harsh on schmex offenders, and due to some recent changes in Florida legislation, life sentences for schmex offenses do happen. I have my share of beef with Florida, as I'm sure you can tell, but the world would be a lot safer if more judges took schmex charges seriously. And remember, we're talking about federal law here. Jim Bob might have friends in high places in the Arkansas state and judicial politic sphere. Sorry, I can't talk apparently, but we're talking about federal crimes, and federal beats state. When this goes to trial, it's going to be tried by a federal judge, an assistant U.S. attorney, and at that point, there isn't anything Jim Bob can do to protect him. Joseph, of course, issued a not guilty plea, which is ridiculous because it's on record that he stated his intentions with Jane Doe minor were not pure. You think? Joseph's attorney filed 2 motions, and they're pretty controversial. So let's dive in. The first is a motion to compel disclosure of testimony, records, and evidence. Translation: Joseph's legal team wants to depose everybody who interviewed the alleged victim across multiple child protection agencies in 2 states, Florida and Arkansas. What they really want to do is depose Jane Doe minor directly, but due to recent legislation changes in Florida, minors can't be deposed in these kinds of cases. Plus, the no contact order applies to both his children and the victim. So his legal team wants to go after everyone who had anything to do with that investigation. If that sounds crazy, it's because it is crazy. From what I understand, Joseph's legal team was given kind of some partial permissions here and there, but not freedom to investigate to the extent that they want to. As always, feel free to correct me if I am wrong. I do my due diligence, but it's not easy to always find things out. Again, this is all very complicated and confusing. I'm confused by a lot of it too, but I'm trying to explain this the best I can. The other motion Joseph's legal team filed was a motion for the judge to lift the no contact order so he can have unsupervised contact with his own children. As a Fundy survivor, I can tell you what is most certainly going on here. And a lot of other survivors agree with me on this. One second. Excuse me. He's trying to keep both his marriage and his children. And as a reminder, Kendra can now talk to their children on the phone, but they are still in protective custody, presumably foster care. The children have not yet been returned to her care. Both Joseph and Kendra want both the marriage and the children, and the window for making that happen is closing. They are so out of touch with reality. They don't understand the gravity of federal charges. They still think Jim Bob can somehow make all of this go away. This is probably the last real-time update I will have for you all before the final pretrial court date on July 14th. And then things are really going to get crazy. In the meantime, I will be reading through the files I've received via some FOIA requests. One of the things I requested was both Josh and Joseph's emails from their time in the Washington County Jail. The reason I wanted all of that info is because I want to give as big a picture as possible of how deep all the corruption and indoctrination goes in this world. All right, that's it for this video. As always, thanks for watching. Please share far and wide so we can finally destroy the patriarchy. Okay, bye guys. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a huge favor and hit the thumbs up. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Like you trout. Bye.